Okay, you guys, welcome to our Body Electric Weekly webinar. It is the first day of August 2018. I can't believe we're already into August, so school is fast approaching. And tonight we have a special guest speaker, one of our diamond coaches on the team, Nicole. She's going to be talking with us about her top tips for Instagram. So I know she's got some extra special stuff in store. It was new news to me because as you guys know, I'm relatively new to Instagram. For those of you who've heard my struggles lately. But it's awesome getting to learn from coaches on the team and seeing what you guys are doing that's successful. And in one of our Emeralds and Above coffee chats that we had recently, a bunch of coaches were like, oh my gosh, I swoon over Nicole's Instagram stories. They're so awesome. She's like the expert at Instagram. And so naturally I thought, then if she's the expert at Instagram for our team, she needs to be helping us learn this and helping us do better with it. So that's the reason behind tonight's call. It will be, of course, recorded as usual so that we can share it with our teams. So just be thinking now about, the coaches that you want to tag tomorrow when the recording is posted so that they can get to see this awesome content as well. So without further ado, Nicole, I'll hand it over to you. As usual, you can decide if you want to take questions as we go, or if you want to take questions at the end. I'll let you decide that, but it's all yours.
All right. Well, for those of you guys that don't know me, I am Nicole. I'm a diamond on the Body Electric team. I'm excited to share with you guys what I know about Instagram. I do have a PowerPoint because it helps keep me on track. So I'm going to pull that up real quick. Feel free to ask questions whenever. I guess I have to figure out how to pull this up.
Yeah, so right at the bottom of your screen, there should be a thing that says share screen. And as long as your PowerPoint is an open browser, then you can just select that to show.
It's being slow. Okay, so these are basically things that I have learned through various people that I have watched on Instagram, different courses that I've taken on Instagram. I've done Chalene Johnson's Instagram training and just a few other random Instagram trainings that I've done. So I have your profile, your feed, Instagram stories, and then just some information that I have and that I follow regarding hashtags. So first, your profile. One thing I don't know, I just learned this the other day, that your name and your handle both on Instagram are searchable. So one of them, it was recommended to have like what you do because that is searchable. So my name is Nicole Amor up here, and then I have Fit Healthy Mom because those things are searchable. So if somebody was searching fit, my name could possibly pop up in the list. Show who you are and what you do in your profile. So we talk about that all the time. And you can also use hashtags in this area. This is a somewhat new feature that will show up if people are searching these hashtags, your profile could show up in them. I personally choose to run a business account. There's a personal account and a business account. I know some people prefer the personal account because it links your stories to your personal Facebook. I use my business account so that I can look at my analytics. So I put a page over here because maybe you have not seen this before, but you can swipe through the days and see who is on Instagram on what days and then what times they're on Instagram. So that is your followers. So that helps me figure out when the best time to post is and when I'm going to get the most engagement, because engagement is what is the most important. If people are not engaging with your post as soon as you post it, it's going to get buried. So you want that engagement. It also shows you who is viewing, men versus women, and above this, which this is just a screenshot, it also shows you where your followers are from, which is interesting. I use Linktree personally to have all of my forms for people they can fill out to join my groups or find me on Facebook. You could link your blog in it. You could link a website in it. It just gives your followers more than one option as opposed to just putting in one link. And I'm not sure on your personal account if you have the email option, but there is an email option too on a business account that they can just click the little tab and send you an email if you have your email in your settings. Story highlights are relatively new this year. I have a few on there. I don't have very many, but we should be using them to highlight who you are. You know, tell your story, tell what you're about. These are just some random ones, but like I have my boy mom, so I have my kids in there. Fearlessly Fit is my team, so I don't have anything in there yet, but I need to share my business, you know, why I signed up for this, how it's changed my life, things like that you want to share and that you want your followers to know. You can invite to your team or to your challenge group through these as well. You have to put them in your original story, and then they archive, and then you add them to the story highlights. Your Instagram feed is important. The things that you have in your profile, who you are, what you're about, is what you should be portraying in your feed. So who are you, and what can your followers expect to get from you? You need to be posting at least once a day. We talk about consistency in this business all the time, and Instagram is no different. At least once a day. If your followers are going to interact with you more than once a day, then feel free and post more than once a day. But typically, most people say just once a day is good enough as long as it's quality material. In your posts that you post, be sure if there's somebody else in it that you're tagging that person, or you can tag the place where you're at, or any place really. Clothes that you're wearing, shoes that you're wearing, brands that you're wearing, anything. The more that you can tag in a post, the more eyes you're going to get on your post. And then hashtags are a big deal on Instagram. So you need to use the smaller hashtags, but that also relate to the picture in some way. I have more about that later on in the presentation. So these are a few of the apps that I use. I use Snapseed to create my images. I have like my filter saved, so when I can just put a picture in, crop it, and then hit the filter that I have saved for all of them, because you want an overall same feel, the overall same look for your Instagram feed. I use WordSwag for my images, which I think a lot of you guys know about. I use that for my text images. I think it did cost $2 or something, but it's well worth the investment. And then Rachel Hollis mentioned Planoly, and I started using it, and it is the screenshot that I have. I really like it because I can upload as many photos as I want to it. I can drag them around. I can rearrange them. I can visually see how my Instagram is going to look before I actually post them. You can also schedule them. So if you're busy or you often forget, you can put in your caption and everything right into Planoly, and then you can schedule it out to post, which is an awesome feature. The posts that you make, I did a training just the other day, and this was the kind of, I don't remember what this is called, abbreviation that she said to use when you're making a post. Is your content relevant? It's called checked. Is your content relevant to your brand? Are your hashtags matching up or aligning with the post that you're making? It also does not matter if your hashtags are in your post or if you put them into your comments later on, well, not later on, it has to be like within seconds, but it doesn't matter where you put them. It's going to be pushed out the same. Is your post engaging? Is there a way that your followers can engage with you on your post? Did you ask them to tag a friend or ask a question? They don't all have to be like that, but in some way it should be somewhat engaging. The caption are like, the caption is considered the first few like words that you see on a post before you can click to see the rest. So make sure that is also captivating in some way. And then tagging, make sure you're tagging something in your post. Instagram stories. I love Instagram stories. I often forget to post to Facebook because I'm posting to Instagram stories so much. So again, with the stories, you have to be consistent. One thing that I've really been focusing on my Instagram stories is talking directly to one person. So I don't say, hey, you guys, or y'all, or whatever. I talk like specifically to one person so that they feel that I'm talking directly to them. You should be posting at least 10 times a day throughout the day. If that is an issue for you or you struggle with that, set an alarm on your phone to post every 2 hours. And let's see, you can tag in your stories too. Put your location. It doesn't even have to be where you're at the time. It could be anywhere in the world. Tag the people that you're with. Tag clothes that you're wearing or brands that you're wearing or shoes that you're wearing. Anything can be tagged in a story. And if you don't want it to show up on your screen, you just pinch it and then swipe it off to the side and it will disappear, but it will still be there. You can use up to 10 hashtags on an Instagram story. And then this is where you're really just showing your audience who you are. So be you. Don't worry about creating a lot here. Be yourself. Document your day. Serve your audience. Just be you on Instagram stories. Honestly, Instagram stories has made me so much more comfortable on video than anything else. Going live still freaks me out a little bit, but I'm a lot more comfortable on videos because of Instagram stories. Another tip that I heard and makes complete sense to me is to do what you tend to like on others that you follow. So for instance, for me, if I follow somebody that has a lot of videos, I just swipe past them. I don't listen to the videos very often. So I don't post a ton of videos with me talking on Instagram because that's not my tribe. I'm not going to attract that. If you see a lot of stories along the top, Ashley Smith is like, she always has like a million stories at the top. And sometimes I just swipe past her because I don't want to watch all 50 of them at that time. So do you like to watch a lot of stories or do you swipe past them? Do what you like. So different things that you can put into your stories. Ask simple questions to build your audience. I don't have a huge following right now, so my recommendation was to use simple questions and train your audience to interact with you and get to know them. People love to add opinions to everything, so ask about anything, ask about everything. Take polls. Add value, brand your products, don't sell your products. I never tell what I'm drinking. My Energize, I never say, hey, this is Energize. Shakeology, I never say it's Shakeology. Brand them. Credibility is seen in community. This is something I need to be more consistent with, but share your wins of your team. So if somebody hit Success Club, share that. If somebody joined your team, share that. And then create urgency within your posts when inviting to challenge groups. This was the opt-in sandwich I just heard the other day on a podcast I was listening to, and it said, within your stories, to have, the 2 pieces of bread and then the meat in the middle. So it said to start with the introduction. What is it that you're offering? What value does it have? And then in between that, or after that, I guess, a testimonial. So do you have pictures of transformations? Do you have conversations where people have told you their wins? We have that all the time. Screenshot those, upload them to a story and share them. And then at the end, tell them to direct message you or fill out a form, or you could put a poll on there if they want more information. So if you're doing a poll option, though, don't say, yes, I want to join, or no, not right now. Say like, yeah, duh, of course I'm ready to join, and I'm a little scared, but I still want some information. Don't give them the option to say no. And then once they message you, or once they fill out that form, or once they answer the poll, that is where you can go in and create a conversation with them and find out what is going to work best for them. Just different tips and tricks. I've had people ask me about some of these things, so I thought I would share them. This is the first thing. So I do a lot of text stories. So I have a post like this where I say needed, and then there's nothing. And then you click, it's 25 volunteers. And then I had information about joining the joining the test group for the HIT program, and they messaged me, and I got a lot of people through doing this and posting it on Facebook. So how you do that is you create your first image, and then you save it, and then you add it to your story, and then add the photo, and then you can add more text, and then save it and add it to your story, and then repeat. Sometimes I do this up to like 5 or 6 times. This one was just the 3. It's pretty simple. Oh. So I said earlier to create urgency, make them feel like they're going to miss out on something. So that is in regards to joining your challenge group, or if you're like going to do an August coach invite. So you might have seen people do this before, but I like my July firecrackers, and I just started with the first person that had signed up for it. And then I actually did them all separately, but you can see I had 3, and then I said, what about you? Write me. And then I added 1 more after that. But just create a sense of urgency. Make sure those are all in a row. And then I just wanted to share with you guys some various posts that I have made. Oh gosh, my internet is lagging, sorry. So Shakeology, this is obviously a Shakeology post. I say improves my digestion, but helps me poop. And I had 6 salads, but taste like cookies. I'm never saying what it is, but I'm telling them how it helps me, how I benefit from it, and obviously that it tastes delicious. I didn't have spinach in this one, so it wasn't green. Brody recently discovered Shakeology, so here he is. He's always stealing it now, and I added that in here. He's stealing my superfoods. He's getting vitamins and minerals. Again, not saying exactly what it is. Sharing that you can take your workouts anywhere. Computer, phone, tablet, no Wi-Fi, not a problem. You can download it. And then the last one is Energize. I don't know what I have. It's blocked, but I always share me in my Energize in the morning, usually half asleep, but I was on vacation during this picture. And then taking polls. So I'm a huge Bachelorette fan. So I did a poll here. I got a lot of engagement from it. So somebody posted like this one time, and I thought it was a great idea. Instead of just swiping, how much you love something, to actually give options to where they can pull the little lever too. I thought that was a great idea. So I do that sometimes. Taking a poll, who is a better driver in your life, me or my significant other? I had quite a few people engage in that one. This was another one, the slider one, who wants to work out with Joel every day. And then the Let's Be Friends, join my challenge group. Give me the details or sign me up now or something like that. This is what I know about hashtags. I'm still learning on it, but I did a Jen Richardson's training. Jen Richardson, I follow her. She says, create an interest list. So what makes me, me, or what phase of life you're in. That was something that we learned at Summit, along with the howtofascinate.com/you with the code Beachbody. It will help figure out, who maybe you don't know exactly who you are and need a little bit of help, but that might help you out. Come up with a list of what makes you, you. And then you want to find at least 25 hashtags for each interest. This does take time, a lot of time. So you're going to take that interest and then use displaypurposes.com, and you'll put that interest into that website, and it will give you a list of hashtags. So then you'll have to go back over to Instagram and browse each hashtag. Do you connect with the hashtag that was given? If you do, and it's under 100,000 uses, then use it. Use those in your posts. So I have my list of hashtags, and I have them saved in like a note on my phone. So after Planoly posts, I can go in and add my hashtags. If you use hashtags that are bigger than that, within seconds, your hashtag is going to get, or your post is going to get pushed down into the newsfeed and nobody's going to see it. So that is why you need to use smaller hashtags. Following people is huge. You need to follow people that have the same interests as you, right? You're looking for people who you want to join your tribe. So you want them to be like you. This is where you're going to use those larger hashtags to go find people to follow. I used to take forever trying to find people. I'd go in, I'd look through their profile, I'd look through their pictures, but it's kind of instantaneous now. If I go to their profile and something there pops out to me, I'll just add them as a friend. So I try to do at least 20 people a day. And then I track the people that I want to recruit and create a relationship with, more so than just individual people. I don't track every single person that I add every day. I just track the people that I want in my tribe. And with them, I do the 5-3-1 rule, which is 5, comment 3, and then add as a friend 1. So their first 5 pictures, like them. The first 3 pictures, add a comment to them that is not, oh yeah, you look nice, or great picture. Make it genuine, make it from the heart. I try to do that to 20 people a day. And then I have not used this yet because I think it's an iPhone app, Instagram Cleaner. And I think it costs money too, but it's just a few dollars. But then with Instagram Cleaner, you can go on and see who does not follow you back. So if you've given them a week to follow you, Jen Richardson said that she will follow people up until Friday. And then Saturday she doesn't follow anyone. And then Sunday she goes through the Cleaner and cleans out anyone who did not follow her back. Oh, that's the end. Hopefully that was helpful for you guys.
That's awesome. I know I have 4 pages of notes. Is this useful for you guys? Is this helpful? Good. So Nicole, are you willing to take some questions if we have any?
Yeah.
Okay. You guys can unmute yourself. I know we've got some things in the chat, but I think everybody's, I don't know, I haven't kept up with it. But anybody who wants to unmute and ask a question, go for it.
I have a question. How do you deal with people following you who are not from the U.S.? Like, how do you make sure that the people who you're building relations? I mean, people from all over the world can contact you, so like I feel kind of bad sometimes when it's like, reach out to me. Oh wait, not you. Like, I feel like that.
I mean, I don't think I have a ton of followers who aren't from the US. I try to focus mainly for me on obviously Canada and the United Kingdom. But if they're following you, you don't have to follow them back.
Right. I just because sometimes people will respond, they'll private message me, but
I have not had that.
Oh.
So
okay. I attract Spanish people. I don't know. It's a thing. Saying her up in my Instagram. Okay. Thank you. This is awesome. My mind is like.
I know, I love this. And I love that you gave examples too of exactly how you piece your stories together.
Nicole, I have a question for your link tree.
Yeah.
I looked at, told you, man, I've stalked your Instagram big time.
That's okay.
So, so with your link tree, I noticed that you link it to Google Docs.
Yeah.
How the heck do you do that? Like,
in Linktree?
I got overwhelmed that I closed it. That's what I did. How do you do that?
In Linktree?
Yeah.
Right? Can I just pull it up?
Yeah. I couldn't figure it out, but I may have just been overtired and.
Yeah, I don't think it's super hard. You put in like the title and then underneath it you can put in the link.
So in Google Docs, there's a link that you can add to that. That's what I'm kind of confused about.
Oh, in Google. Okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
In Google, in your forms in Google, there's a little share button.
Oh, okay. It's in the share button and you can copy the link?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
It's super simple. And if you can't find it, just let me know and I can help you.
The
Okay.
one thing that I will say about that is I always seem to forget to do this. So just making sure that if you do a form or something in your Google Drive, make sure that you make that editable if you're going to be sharing it. If you want people to fill it out, you have to, when you go to click on the share button, there's a thing right there that says like, allow other people to edit or not. So make sure that it is editable if you want people to fill it out. Because otherwise, I think for me, mine was defaulted to not be editable. So for like the first 5 forms I ever sent out, I never had anybody fill them out because they couldn't, because they weren't editable. So just an FYI.
I also started using the form or the website Typeform that was recommended at Summit, and you can make forms really pretty and views super nice on mobile devices. And it's like one question at a time, and they fill it out and hit OK, and then the next question pops up on like a new screen for them.
Ooh, that. Okay.
I love it.
Thanks, Abby.
Typeform.
That's an app you said?
So I don't know if it's me or you.
I have always used a service called Wufoo. Your first 3 forms are free. That's always an option also. And you can set it up so that it emails you every time somebody submits. So I don't know if you guys remember, we used to do like wait lists for the team. Like, it would be like a lift for wait lists of interested people. I would set that up in Wufoo, and then every time someone would fill that out, I would get an email notification saying that I had someone new fill out the form. So I liked that because then it told me, so I wasn't like constantly checking back like with Google Drive. It just told me when somebody had filled out the form.
There is an extension on your Google Drive where you can have it notify you every time somebody fills out the form too.
Okay.
Typeform will do that too. I switched from Wufoo to Typeform. I just decided to look into it after Summit this year, but I always used Wufoo too, and I liked it because it's prettier.
And I shared it in the chat, but I found out Planoly was just for business pages because I actually had to set mine to a business page before Planoly would work and actually do the auto posting. I think technically you can use it, but it will not auto post unless you have it set up as a business account.
There are also paid features on Planoly. I don't do the paid features. I just do the free Planoly. Yep. But I really like it because I was like before so visually like couldn't figure out how it was going to look. And I love that I can plan it all out there. It makes it so much easier.
Cool. Any other questions, you guys?
Nicole, do you still try to keep up with your Facebook as well, or are you exclusively Instagramming?
Like my personal page on Facebook?
Any sort of Beachbody work on Facebook?
Yeah, I do. I'm not as consistent with it as I was in the past, just mainly because I forget. But I've been, this week, that was my focus, is to start using my personal page again as well on Facebook. So I do a lot more on Instagram than I do on Facebook, but I do a few things on Facebook as well.
I've also been just kind of, because you can actually share on your feed, you can share to your personal Facebook if it's not linked to your business account. You can actually share the posts that way too. And I've heard mixed things. I've heard that you won't get as much engagement on Facebook when you do that, but I've actually had a lot of engagement on my posts that have been shared from Instagram. So I'm not noticing any difference personally from it. So that's another option too, and it's quick and you don't have to focus on both platforms. You can just do one and then share it and it's okay. So
I think as long as you get engagement, it's going to push your post out. But if you don't get that engagement right away, then it's just going to bury it. Algorithm.
Yep. Agreed.
And I think some people.
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think some people are hesitant to do the automatic post because the hashtags are added in Facebook and people feel like it looks a little weird to have the hashtags. So you can still share to Facebook, but then put your hashtags in your first comment if you don't want the hashtags in your Facebook post.
Yes, that's actually what I do, is share it in my first comment.
Nicole, should we hashtag like every single post, or is it bad form if like I post a picture of the baby and I'm like, that's what I want this to be pushed out to 100,000 people?
I've started hashtagging more posts. More posts or stories. Sorry.
Posts.
Posts. I hashtag every post. Just because that's where you're going to get the engagement and that's where you're going to get people to see you. So if you're posting pictures of Ian and you don't want people to see it, I mean, I guess either way they're going to see it, whether you hashtag that post or you don't. If you hashtag a different post and people come look at your feed, they're going to see that eventually. So I would just hashtag it personally.
And can I just add a thing about hashtags?
Yes.
I have in my notes section, this was something that I learned from Brock Johnson on his help with hashtags training. In the notes section of my phone, I have like 5 types of posts that I typically make. So if I post something that relates to my teacher life, like I have a section in my notes that's about me as a teacher, so that it wouldn't look weird if it was a picture of my girls and it had my teacher hashtags. So I've got like a group of family hashtags, a group of teacher hashtags, a group of like outside nature picture hashtags, because those are the things that I typically post about. So then you can just copy paste.
That's a good idea, Tara. Thanks. I was struggling with that because I'm like,
That wasn't my idea. It was Brock
my
Johnson.
baby crawling on the floor, and I'm like, hashtag fit mom. What? Like,
I do the same thing.
And yet, Nicole, I enjoy watching your stories.
I like watching yours too.
I feel like you're next door.
I like what I was going to say. You guys need to follow Tara too, because she kills it.
No, I had this pattern going on my page so that it would look the same. And then I was doing image quote. So my feed was all like, and then I did 2 images and I totally screwed that up. So don't go look at my page.
You can archive them. You can delete
I
them.
have to do that. I didn't planally.
Well, I'm glad you guys have found this helpful. Does anybody have any other last minute questions for Nicole?
I did want to share too really quick something else that Brock Johnson, he also, if you guys are interested too, in aside from just the training he did for the team call, if you listen to Shalene's podcast, the Build Your Tribe podcast, she's actually featured him on multiple occasions where he's talking about Instagram, and they're short. So that's another really good one. But he had talked about timing of adding hashtags. So when you make a post, he said you've got 4 minutes to get engagement before it is buried. So if you're going to hashtag something, like the girls were talking about having something saved, that's why it's really important to have something like that saved, so you're not like sitting there going, I can't remember what hashtags I want to include, and you don't have really a whole lot of time to search for hashtags. You want to do that immediately after you post it. And you can hashtag your, I think, 10 hashtags in your stories as well.
It's 30. Oh, 10 in your
30.
Sorry. No, 10 in your stories, 30 on your feed.
Stories.
Sorry.
Yeah, 30 in your feed, 10 in your stories.
Yeah.
And he talked about when you do it in your stories so it looks prettier, you can actually like shrink it down and flip it off the page.
Mm-hmm.
And it still has the hashtags.
And unlike your feed and your stories, it might not show up. Like in the feed, your picture will show up under those hashtags, but in the stories, it might not. They pick and choose what they throw in there. Like today I had a post, it was my Shakeology at cheerleading practice, and I had like 250 views on it because it actually like posted to my cheerleading hashtag. So you
Nice.
just know.
Awesome stuff, Nicole. Well, thank you for putting all that together and for sharing with us and for being one of the team's Instagram gurus. I'm sure that if people have last second questions, if you guys want to post them on the team page, I'm sure Nicole would be welcome to looking at those and answering to her best of her ability. But real quick, I did want to make sure I was going to mention some announcements at the beginning, and they totally escaped me because I was so excited to take them. I already had Nicole Instagram tips written on my notebook, and I was already ready to take notes, so I had my mind there. But just a couple things in case you have missed them, or a couple things just to draw your attention to. Number one, I sent out an email blast to the team probably about an hour ago, so you have that in your email inbox. Number two, last night my upline Julie Boris hosted a summer surge call where she had various coaches talk. She also had Jimmy Hayes Nelson and Ashley Molstead speak, and Ashley Molstead honestly blew me away, like in the 15 minutes that she spoke. So if you don't have enough time to do the full 2-hour surge recording, I understand, but maybe just forward to the Ashley Molstead section and at least get that in, because that was fantastic. So that surge recording was posted in the team page today, so if you wanted to add that to your watch list, I thought it was super valuable. Also, I sent a message to some of you guys, but John Maxwell came out with his own podcast today, which is a huge deal. And it's funny because when I first started getting into podcasts, like, and even to this day, probably like 2 or 3 times a year, I searched John Maxwell in the search bar of my iTunes podcast. And I've always been like, why doesn't he have a podcast? Like, this just seems so weird. But as they said, I listened to 2 of them tonight while making dinner. And the guy that's in charge, the host of his podcast, mentioned that, you know, John's 71 years old and it's taken them a while to get him to even text, let alone be open to doing a podcast. So they're using little snippets from, you know, live talks that he's done, and they're doing interviews. It's going to be awesome. And I listened to the one tonight that was called Happiness, or I don't know what, something is an inside job. Happiness is an inside job, or success is an inside job. Something is an inside job was the title, and it was awesome. So if you're looking for something fresh and new in the personal development world, that is new as of today. And there's only, I think, 4 podcasts listed that they came out with today. And then the last thing is, we do have a group, our sort of feature group of the moment, coming up on August 20th. That is our 21-day fix themed, portion fix themed back to school challenge group. So I had some questions from a few of you guys today, and I just wanted to take a minute to try to answer that. So if you follow my Facebook, you saw me put in my Instagram, I posted today with an invitation to a back to school themed group, right? I talked about getting back into the routine. I even sent an email blast about it last night as well to my potential customers. But some of you guys were like, wait a minute, you were talking about Lift 4 in your invitation, but yet the group is for 21-day fix. And so I just wanted to clarify what I'm doing with that. I am personally seeing a lot of success talking about Lift 4. So I know I'm not mentioning Lift 4 in my posts, but I'm talking about 4 days a week of workouts, a flexible, clean eating plan, and people are really wanting that right now, right? Beachbody tends to know what people want. People really are wanting that. So what I'm doing is I'm using the overall back to school mentality and back to school theme to invite, just generally invite to my challenge group, right? So the post, the invite that you saw me make today seems geared toward Lift 4, because I do say 4 workouts a week, because that's what's appealing to people right now. But in my private messages, if I'm talking to somebody who's at a beginner level, who just really wants to get started, and I feel like they're better suited for 21-day fix or portion fix, then I'm going to put them into our back to school portion fix as sort of an on-ramp. Does that make sense? Or if they're a recurring customer, or if they're ready for something more, I'm going to put them into Lift 4. So don't get confused by my personal marketing strategy here, but my strategy is just it's based on what's working for me right now, which is talking about the 4 days a week of workouts, regardless of how the conversation winds up with each individual customer. So you could maybe take that tactic and use it for yourself or not. I'll also be talking about just portion fix and fixate, probably in some invitation posts as well. But I'm planning on putting people into both, but it's going to just depend on where they need to be, right? Like if there's somebody ready for Lift 4 or not. So that is coming up on August 20th. I think that's all I had for that. So does anybody have any questions on any of those things? Okay,
I have a
cool.
question real quick, Jenny.
Yeah.
So I have someone that has been interested in the country heat.
Mm-hmm.
So with the portion fix as well, would that new back to school group be good for that as well?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, I think
Okay.
it's focused. It's a portion fix focus program, and I would say 80% of the content we're going to be putting out in that group is going to be focused on portion fix.
Okay.
So I'm not as interested in leading people through the fitness portion as I am with the nutrition portion. That way we can archive that group into social learning with the units, and that way in the future, anybody who's following portion fix, any beginner who's starting with portion fix can hop into that group. So it's fix themed in that it's portion fix themed, right? But we might talk a little bit about 21-day fix workouts, but 80% of the time it's going to be focused on the meal planning side of things.
Okay.
So that's a good place to plug them in, especially if that's typically what people need help with the most, right? The pressing play is easier than the food.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Congrats on Success Club. Cool. Alrighty. Okay, well, this has been recorded, so it's taking a while for these recordings to upload. So the last one that I did took the full overnight. So I'm gonna let it upload tonight, leave my computer open, I'll have it posted in the morning. Make sure you tag your coaches. The thing about Instagram is that, you know, some people are okay with embracing it, some people aren't. For me, it took me a long time to say, okay, I need to figure this out and work on it. So I know that we have coaches that feel the same way, right? We have coaches that feel more comfortable with Facebook, or we have coaches that just aren't sure about a new platform. But I think Nicole did a really great job of sort of covering all the different beneficial aspects of Instagram. And if you've been around here in the last 6 months or so, you know that it's all Carl has been talking about. It's all the top 10 coaches have been talking about. So I think after the 50th mention of it, I finally was like, okay, I'm going to learn Instagram. So I'm on the learning curve with it. I'm so grateful, Nicole, for your time tonight and teaching us some things we need to know. But let's just keep the team up to date. If you guys learn something about it, post in the team page. Let's, you know, keep it fresh, keep it updated, and not be afraid to mention the importance of it to our coaches, especially our newer coaches, for getting involved and learning it. So tag your teams tomorrow in the recording. Thanks you guys so much for hopping on.
Wait, real quick, I have to say something funny. So I decided to look at my insights, and which Nicole, sorry, there's a thing covering your face. Nicole said, so Grand Rapids is like most of my people I'm reaching, then Oscoda, Michigan, then Santiago. Like, I don't know if you can see this. It's like, I don't know why, it's so weird.
Best de mas, baby.
Yeah, start talking Mes de Mas, our new Spanish program. Yeah.
Oh.
Or it's funny, Nicole, didn't you teach Spanish? And you don't have Spanish followers.
I don't, but I've recently started following a bunch of like Spanish teachers.
Uh-huh.
But I don't have a lot of Spanish followers.
Well, you know, if and when Beachbody goes abroad more so than they already are, Kitty, you'll be prepared.
Yay.
You'll have these people that are just ready and waiting.
I do apparently have some United Kingdom followers, so I better. This is cool. Thank you so much. I never knew about all this business.
Yeah, this is awesome information, and it's stuff that I can follow for sure. All of us can do some of this with us and apply.
Katie, it's so good to see your face. I just had to throw that in there.
Thank you guys. It's good to see your faces too.
I sent her a text and told her the same thing earlier. Well, I like seeing all of your faces. I'm glad we've resumed this Wednesday webinar. Oh, and one thing I should have mentioned is next week we have Jackie Suter talking to us about her best practices for inviting. She's kind of blown my mind recently with just her amazing language skills and what she's coming up with when it comes to her conversation style, how she's segueing conversations, how she's bringing up the coaching opportunity and inviting to the challenge group. So I've asked her not only to share with us, but also, like Nicole did, to give us concrete examples of exactly what she's saying. So I think that's going to be beneficial to everybody, but again, even brand new coaches too. So that's going to be next Wednesday. If you guys have any topics that you want to see covered, of course, you can let me know. But I'm working on some other speakers for the rest of the month as well. So awesome, you guys. I will talk to you later. For those of you heading back to school, happy school year. All right, I'll talk to you guys later.